You are being manipulated more often than you think. There are people in your life who benefit from your world feeling small, simple, and with very few options. Most of these manipulations are built on a single ancient trick, a logical trap that feels like a moment of clarity. Where do you stand? By the end of this, you might realize you've been standing on a trapdoor. The trap is called a false dilemma. It presents two options as if they are the only possibilities. Love it or leave it. You're either with us or you are against us. Work harder or admit you lack ambition. The power of this is seductive. In a world of infinite choices and paralyzing uncertainty, a simple binary choice feels like a gift. It cuts through the noise. It offers a clear path forward. For the person offering the dilemma, it's an incredibly efficient tool for control. It frames the debate in their favor before you've even had a chance to think. They own both outcomes. Consider the manager who tells you to either meet an impossible deadline by working all weekend or accept that the project will fail and it will be your fault. The choice seems to be between heroic sacrifice and professional failure. Both options serve the manager. One gets the project done at the cost of your life. The other gives them a scapegoat. Notice what's missing: the option to question the deadline, the option to reallocate resources, the option to simplify the project scope, the option to admit the timeline was unrealistic from the start. All the creative, collaborative, and intelligent solutions are wiped off the map. You are left in a cage with two doors, both leading back to the Zookeeper. That sounds convincing, but the logic of control has its own blind spot. The moment you name the structure begins to crumble, because the options you're given are rarely the real issue. The real issue is the frame itself. The true art of responding to a false dilemma is to refuse the choice entirely. You step outside the cage. When presented with "accept these terms or the deal is off," the third option is to say, "The current terms don't work. Let's design new ones that do." This reframes the negotiation from a threat into a collaborative problem-solving session. When a partner says, "Either we move in together now, or this isn't serious," the third option is to explore the underlying fear. What does moving in represent to you? What is the pace that would make us both feel secure? You address the emotion driving the ultimatum, rather than surrendering to the ultimatum itself. This requires you to stop seeing the world through their lens. The person presenting the dilemma wants you focused on the pain of each choice, the sacrifice versus the failure, the loneliness versus the loss of freedom. They want you caught in a loop of loss aversion. Your job is to ignore the two doors they've painted on the wall and look for the wall itself. What is this situation really about? What is the outcome we all want? Are there 5 other ways to get there? This move from choosing an answer to questioning the question is the single most powerful shift you can make. It takes the power from the person who set the trap and puts it back into the conversation. And yet, if it's that simple, why do we fall for it constantly? Why does this ancient logical fallacy still run our lives? The answer is uncomfortably personal. It has less to do with their cleverness and more to do with our own exhaustion. Imagine it's 4:50 p.m. on a Friday. You have a dozen unresolved issues. Your brain is fried, and your boss comes to you with a classic dilemma. Either we push this new update live tonight, which is risky, or we delay the launch and lose our first mover advantage. What's it going to be? Your mind doesn't want complexity. It doesn't want to brainstorm a third option. It craves closure. The dilemma offers a shortcut. It's a cognitive painkiller. It reduces an overwhelming, ambiguous reality into a simple, manageable choice. A or B, go or no go. The manipulator knows this. They don't spring the trap when you're fresh, sharp, and confident. They wait until you are tired, stressed, or afraid. They present the dilemma as a relief, a way out of the mental chaos. This is why false dilemmas are so common in high-stakes environments. In politics, "You're either a patriot or a traitor" shuts down all nuanced discussion about national policy. It forces loyalty through fear of exclusion. In marketing, "Buy this now before the price goes up" creates artificial urgency, eliminating the third option of simply waiting and thinking. It preys on your fear of missing out. In abusive relationships, the phrase "if you really loved me, you would" is a constant, rolling false dilemma. It equates obedience with love, forcing you to choose between your own needs and the perceived survival of the relationship. Every time, the mechanism is the same. It finds an insecurity, your patriotism, your financial anxiety, your fear of abandonment, and builds a two-door cage around it. The choice you make is secondary. The act of choosing from their limited menu is the surrender. That sounds convincing, but there's a problem with seeing manipulation everywhere. You risk becoming cynical, seeing traps that aren't there, and fighting battles that don't need to be fought. The other side has its own blind spot. How do you distinguish a manufactured dilemma from a genuine hard limit of reality? The key is to ask, who benefits from this choice being limited? When a doctor says, we can either try the experimental treatment, or we can begin palliative care, the dilemma is imposed by the brutal facts of biology. The doctor doesn't personally gain by limiting your options. They are simply outlining the map of a harsh reality. When a house is on fire, the choice to jump from a window or run through the flames is a dilemma imposed by physics. The fire is not trying to manipulate you. The options are real. They are terrible, but they are real. These are true dilemmas. The constraints are external and impersonal. A false dilemma is almost always a tool of social, emotional, or political power. The constraints are artificial, and they serve the agenda of the person who created them. The manager who presents the weekend work or failure dilemma benefits directly from either choice you make. The politician who frames a vote as for us or for the terrorists consolidates their power base. The person offering a false dilemma is selling you a map that only shows roads leading to their house. The critical skill is to learn the difference between a map of the territory and a blueprint for a cage. One helps you navigate reality, the other is designed to become your reality. You can learn to spot the blueprint. It often comes with a sense of urgency. It pressures you to decide now. It makes you feel that thinking is a form of disloyalty. A true, hard choice often feels heavy and tragic. A false choice often feels tight and suspicious. It makes you feel like you're being cornered. Your intuition knows the difference between the weight of reality and the pressure of a thumb on the scale. The first step is to trust that feeling. The second step is to challenge the frame, politely but firmly. Those are two interesting starting points. Let's brainstorm a few more. Or, the most powerful question of all, help me understand why these are the only two options. That single question is a conversation stopper. It exposes the game. Often the person will have no good answer. They might get defensive, they might double down. That's also data. It tells you their intention was control, not collaboration. In a healthy dynamic, the question why these two options is an invitation. It's a chance to find a better way together. In a manipulative dynamic, that same question is a threat. It is an act of defiance against an unwritten rule. The rule that says you are here to choose, not to think. So now you see the architecture of the trap. You see how it's used to simplify your world in a way that serves someone else's. You see that it preys on your fatigue and your desire for certainty, and you have the words to name it, to challenge it, to step outside of it. But seeing the cage and leaving it are two different things. You will start to notice these dilemmas everywhere, in news headlines, in your company's all-hands meeting, in a fight with a loved one, in the way you talk to yourself. Each time, you'll have a choice. You can take the simple path, pick one of the doors they offer, and feel the brief relief of a decision made. Or you can do the hard thing. You can stop, reject the frame, and force a more complex, more honest conversation. That path is riskier. It can create conflict. It requires more energy. It demands courage. So, the next time you are handed a menu with only 2 items, and both of them are poison, what do? Do you order the one that's less painful? Or do you stand up and walk out of the restaurant?